What if I told you that the single most powerful thing you could do right now to protect yourself from a fall has nothing to do with any device, any special shoe, any grab bar screwed into your bathroom wall? You do not need to spend a single rupee. You do not need to join a gym or learn a complicated routine. What you need is a change. One very specific, very small change to something you have been doing every single day of your life. The way you walk. And there is a very good chance you have been doing it wrong for years without anyone ever pointing it out. I have spent 26 years working with adults over 70 as a physical therapist. I have sat across from hundreds of people after a fall, and almost every single one of them says the same thing. I was just walking. I was not doing anything special. I do not understand how it happened. And they are absolutely right. They were not doing anything unusual. That is the entire problem. Their everyday, ordinary walk had quietly become one of the most dangerous things they were doing, and nobody had ever told them. Today, I am going to show you exactly what is likely happening in your walk right now, why it is putting you at risk every time you cross a room, and the one correction that can begin protecting you immediately, starting with your very next step. Before we go further, if you find this helpful, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video made specifically for you. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are enjoying this, or a 0 if I can do better. Let me paint a picture for you. Think about someone walking down a hallway. Their steps are short, noticeably shorter than they probably used to be. Their feet skim the floor rather than lifting away from it. There is a slight forward tilt to their posture, their chin angled downward, their arms hanging still at their sides rather than swinging with any rhythm. They are moving carefully, cautiously, because somewhere deep in their body there is a quiet awareness that the floor no longer feels as reliable as it once did. This walking pattern is called a shuffle gait, and it is one of the most common things I see in adults over 70. It does not appear overnight. It creeps in slowly, so slowly that most people never catch it happening. A little extra caution after a close call, steps that get shorter month by month, feet that stop lifting cleanly, and what feels, from the inside, like careful and responsible walking is actually one of the highest risk movement patterns a human body can be in. Here is the reason. When your feet travel that close to the ground, any small imperfection on the surface, a rug edge, a tile lip, a slight rise in the floor between two rooms, becomes an immediate trip hazard. There is simply not enough space between your foot and the ground for anything to go wrong without it going very wrong very fast. And because your steps are short and your weight is pitched forward, the moment your toe catches on anything at all, your body has no room and no time to recover. The fall is already happening before your brain has registered the problem. Shuffle gait also tells us something about what is happening deeper in the body. The muscles that lift your legs, your hip flexors, your glutes, the deep muscles of your core, have quietly weakened from not being asked to do their job. The connection between your brain and your lower body has slowed. The signals are getting through, but they are delayed. The good news, and I want you to really hear this, is that both of these things can be changed. It starts with one adjustment. Here is the change. From this point forward, Every step you take should begin with your heel making contact with the ground first. This is called a heel strike, and it is not a technique or trick. It is simply the way the human body was designed to walk. When you were younger, when your walking felt natural and unthinking, this is what you were doing. Your heel landed first. Your weight traveled forward through the arch of your foot, across the ball, and pushed off through your toes to launch the next step. It was a smooth, rolling, continuous motion, one of the most efficient mechanical patterns your body produces. What happens as the years pass is that this pattern quietly disappears. As confidence in balance fades and muscles weaken, the foot begins landing flat or even toe first. The stride shortens. The rolling motion stops. The push-off from the toes vanishes. What remains is the shuffle. And with every month that passes, the muscles that once produced a proper heel strike grow weaker still, because nobody is asking them to work. So what does the correction actually look like in practice? With each step, reach your heel slightly forward, just a few inches more than you currently do, and let it be the first part of your foot to touch the ground. Feel your weight shift forward through the foot. Let your toes push off behind you, and most importantly, lift your foot off the ground. Do not slide it. Pick it up, carry it forward, land on the heel. When this happens correctly, a chain reaction moves through your entire body. Your stride length increases, which improves your stability. Your foot clears the ground, which eliminates the threat from surface irregularities. Your posture corrects itself. The heel strike naturally pulls your body upright, out of that forward-leaning position, and your hip flexors, glutes, and core are suddenly being recruited again, which begins rebuilding the very strength that keeps you safe with every step. One change, but it sets everything else in motion. Now let me walk you through 5 exercises that will help this new pattern become natural, automatic, and strong. Exercise 1. Conscious heel strike walk. Why it matters. You cannot fix a movement pattern you are not thinking about. Most people who have been shuffling for any length of time have genuinely lost the motor memory of a proper heel strike. The neural pathway has faded. This exercise rebuilds it, repetition by repetition, until it begins to feel like second nature again. How to do it. Find a clear hallway, ideally with a wall nearby for light support if you need it. Begin walking, but slowly, with your full attention on your heel. With every single step, consciously reach that heel forward and let it land first. Feel the contact. Feel the weight roll through. Feel the toe push off. Take 10 steps forward. Turn carefully using small, controlled steps and walk back. That is one set. Rest 30 seconds. Complete 3 sets total. What to focus on. Slow yourself down more than feels natural. Speed destroys relearning. The slower you move, the stronger the signal you are sending to your nervous system. Think of this as writing new instructions for your body, not just walking down a hallway. Progress tip. Once heel striking feels comfortable on flat ground, try it on a different surface. The variation forces your nervous system to generalize the pattern, which is exactly what you need for real-world safety. Exercise 2. High knee march. Why it matters. Shuffle gait starves the hip flexors of work, and weak hip flexors mean low foot clearance. Low foot clearance means every rug, every threshold, every slightly uneven surface is a potential trip. This exercise directly targets the lifting muscles and begins restoring the reflex that keeps your feet safely above the ground. How to do it? Stand behind a sturdy chair, both hands resting lightly on the back for balance. Lift your right knee toward your chest as high as you comfortably can, then lower it with control. Repeat on the left. That is one full repetition. Complete 15 repetitions per side, 30 total lifts, at a slow, deliberate pace. The lift should feel like it requires effort. If it does not, you are not going high enough. What to focus on? Stand tall. Do not lean backward as your knee rises. The effort should come from your hip, not from momentum or a shift in your torso. Control the descent just as much as the lift. The lowering phase builds the eccentric strength your legs rely on with every step. Progress tip. Once this feels manageable, begin marching slowly forward through your hallway, lifting each knee before placing the heel down. You are now combining this directly with exercise 1. Exercise 3. Stride length walk. Why it matters. Shuffle gait compresses the stride, sometimes to half of what it once was. A short stride means reduced momentum, disrupted balance, and a center of gravity that tilts dangerously forward. This exercise gently challenges you to extend your stride back toward a safer, more stable range. How to do it? Place 2 small pieces of tape on your hallway floor, roughly 18 inches apart. This is your target step length. Walk toward them, reaching your heel to land at or just past the second piece of tape with each step. Walk 10 strides, turn, and return. Complete 2 full passes. What to focus on? Do not lunge. The goal is a comfortable, natural extension, not a dramatic reach. If 18 inches is too far at first, start with 12. The distance is less important than the habit of intentionally reaching the heel forward on every step. Progress tip. Move the tape markers slightly further apart over time. Half an inch per week is enough. Most people are genuinely surprised at how quickly their stride length recovers once they begin training it with awareness. Exercise 4. Slow motion walk. Why it matters. At our normal everyday pace, we rely on habit and momentum rather than conscious muscle control. For anyone rebuilding a walking pattern, speed is the enemy. Slow motion walking removes it from the equation entirely, forcing every single muscle involved in the movement to work independently and with full awareness. How to do it? Begin walking at the slowest pace you can physically manage, so slow that each step takes 3 to 4 full seconds to complete. Lift the foot, pause briefly, reach the heel forward, lower it to the ground. Feel the weight transfer. Push off with the toes. Begin the next step. Walk the full length of your hallway this way, turn carefully, and return. Complete 2 full sets. What to focus on? This will feel awkward. That is entirely normal and entirely the point. Every wobble you feel is your balance system actively training itself. Every small correction your ankle makes is your nervous system rebuilding its responsiveness. Lean into the discomfort. It is evidence that the exercise is working. Progress tip. Once you feel steady, try closing your eyes for 2 or 3 slow-motion steps while standing near the wall. This significantly increases the proprioceptive challenge and accelerates neurological adaptation. Exercise 5. Obstacle step over. Why it matters. Hallway practice is a starting point, but real life is full of obstacles. Rugs, door thresholds, cables, shoes left in the hallway. Each one is a potential trip for someone with low foot clearance. This exercise trains your brain and your legs to detect an object, respond in advance, lift the foot high enough to clear it, and land safely on the other side. How to do it. Place a pool noodle, a rolled towel, or a folded blanket on your hallway floor, roughly 4 to 6 inches high. Stand back from it with a wall or chair within reach. Walk toward it at a calm, controlled pace. When you arrive, lift your right foot deliberately, high enough to clear the object with room to spare. Step over it, then bring your left foot over as well. Continue walking a few steps, turn, and return. Complete 5 passes in each direction, 10 total. What to focus on. Do not rush as you approach the obstacle. Slow down slightly. Lift the foot early, well before you reach the object. The goal is a confident, planned step, not a last-second reaction. Progress tip. Vary the height and texture of the obstacle over time. Try stepping over it while holding something light in one hand, a glass of water, for example, because this is how real-life trips most often happen. Before you begin any of these exercises, please take this seriously. If you have had a recent hip or knee replacement, if you are being treated for a heel condition or plantar fasciitis, or if your doctor has advised against weight-bearing exercise, please consult your physician or physical therapist before starting. Always practice near a wall, sturdy chair, or countertop. Wear non-slip footwear or go barefoot on a safe surface. Never rush. If you feel sharp pain, dizziness, or anything that does not feel right, stop immediately. No exercise is worth your safety. Move at your own pace and trust your body to guide you. What you have learned today is that the most dangerous walk is not the one that looks dangerous. It is the ordinary, everyday shuffle that millions of people move through without ever being told what it is costing them. The good news is that it is not permanent. One adjustment, heel first, every step, begins to reverse it immediately. The 5 exercises you now have will strengthen the muscles that make that adjustment automatic. Rebuild the neural pathways that keep your feet lifting cleanly, and restore the stride that keeps your body balanced and upright. Small movements, done consistently, change the body in ways that matter far more than any gadget or grip sock ever could. I would love to hear from you. How long have you noticed changes in the way you walk? Where are you watching from, and how old are you? Your comment might be exactly what someone else needed to read today. If this helped you, leave a 1 in the comments. If I can do better, leave a 0. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content made specifically for you. Thank you for being here, and here is to moving safely, confidently, and on your own terms.